Raider Nation, let's talk. With the offseason in full swing, questions are swirling around familiar names and intriguing possibilities. So let's dive into three hot topics. Should the Raiders sign Derek Carr to a one-day contract? Should they pursue Asante Samuel Jr? And should Las Vegas explore a trade for Trey Hendrickson? Let's break it all down. First up, the one that's stirring the most emotion. Should the Raiders sign Derek Carr to a one-day deal so he can retire a Raider? Short answer, absolutely, but it's not possible. If the rules allowed it, the move would make perfect sense. Carr spent 9 seasons with the Raiders after being drafted in 2014, leading the team through ups, downs, and everything in between. He officially announced his retirement after 11 seasons in the NFL, and while he finished his career with the New Orleans Saints, his heart never left the silver and black. Carr himself expressed his gratitude to the Raiders and their fans in a recent Instagram post, thanking coaches, teammates, and supporters for sticking with him through it all. The injuries, the comebacks, the records, and the Pro Bowl appearances. But here's the reality. Derek Carr is still under contract with the Saints. And unless they release him, which they won't, the Raiders can't sign him, not even for a ceremonial one-day contract. Why wouldn't New Orleans cut ties? There's still speculation that Carr might return to the league in 2026. Releasing him now would mean giving up control of his rights, and no NFL team is going to do that unless they're absolutely sure he's done for good. So yes, it would be a classy gesture to let Carr retire in silver and black, but unless the Saints release him, it's just not going to happen. Let's keep it rolling with the latest buzz surrounding the Raiders. Should Las Vegas take a look at free agent cornerback Asante Samuel Jr.? Right now, the answer is no, and here's why. Cornerback is still a need for this team, especially in the slot. But Asante Samuel Jr. doesn't check the right boxes for what the Raiders are looking for. And more importantly, there are serious concerns about his health. Reports have surfaced that Samuel underwent neck surgery in April. Several teams, and their medical staff, are hesitant to sign him because of lingering questions about his recovery. If a 25-year-old corner with his talent is still on the open market, that raises a red flag. Samuel is a solid outside corner, no doubt, but the Raiders are specifically looking for an interior presence, a reliable nickelback who can stay healthy and hold up in coverage. That's not Samuel's specialty, and the team's recent evaluation trends lean toward bigger, longer defensive backs. Simply put, he doesn't quite fit the mold. He recently visited the New Orleans Saints, but even they reportedly held off due to concerns about his medical status. He's not expected to be reevaluated until July, so if the Raiders were interested, it would make more sense to wait until then before making any decisions. Also, let's clear up a common misconception. Just because his father, Asante Samuel Sr., played in the slot doesn't mean Jr. does too. He's primarily played outside throughout his career. Could he be an upgrade over some current depth pieces? Possibly. But is he the solution at slot corner? If Las Vegas wants to fill that role, they'd be better off signing a healthy, proven nickel corner who fits the team's system and is ready to contribute immediately. Later in this episode, we'll break down 2 realistic cornerback targets who could step in and make a difference right away. Because yes, cornerback remains a pressing need. Let's shift focus to 2 cornerbacks the Raiders should consider signing. If you've been following the team closely, you probably already know the 2 names that make the most sense. First up, Mike Hilton. The veteran slot corner is 31 years old and still playing at a high level. Last season, he recorded 73 tackles, an interception, and 5 pass breakups. Over the last 2 years, he's totaled 13 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, 24 tackles for loss, and 2 sacks, all while maintaining 4 straight seasons with a Pro Football Focus grade over 70. Hilton has appeared in 123 games with 56 starts, including 23 over the last 2 seasons. Bringing in someone like him could be a game changer, especially for a young, inexperienced cornerback room. He'd bring leadership, competition, and toughness, the same way Las Vegas tried to inject experience into the linebacker group by signing Jalen Smith. Next, Troy Hill. Hill brings value too, thanks to his experience and past connections around the league. He played with the Buccaneers last year, logging 202 slot snaps in just 8 games. His overall grades weren't elite, but he still posted a solid 70.6 coverage rating from PFF. At 5'10", 182 pounds, he notched 32 tackles in limited action. At 32 years old, Hill isn't a long-term solution, but he fits what the Raiders have been targeting this offseason. Experienced veterans who can raise the floor of the defense. He's not a superstar, but he's reliable, and right now, that's what the secondary could use. Realistically, neither Hilton nor Hill are expected to sign immediately. If you're a veteran free agent, you're probably waiting until after June 1st, or even until mandatory minicamp kicks off on June 10th. But they're names to watch if the Raiders want to strengthen their nickel coverage. Meanwhile, some young Raiders are already on the field putting in work. Rookies like Brock Bowers are already practicing, and players like Geno Smith are setting the tone by showing up early. It's clear the Raiders are pushing a culture of accountability and effort, and that starts in May, not just in September. Now let's finish with one more story. Trey Hendrickson, the star pass rusher from the Cincinnati Bengals. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, Hendrickson recently received a text from Bengals head coach Zach Taylor 30 days before mandatory minicamp, warning he'd be fined if he didn't report. That didn't sit well with Hendrickson, especially given what he described as poor communication from the team this offseason. He's made it clear he won't play under the final year of his current contract, and as a result, trade rumors have started to swirl. We'll dive deeper into whether the Raiders should explore a move for Hendrickson. But one thing's for sure, when a player of his caliber becomes available, teams pay attention. Let's talk more about the situation between the Cincinnati Bengals and pass rusher Trey Hendrickson, and whether the Raiders should even consider making a move. There's tension in Cincinnati. Hendrickson made it clear he won't play without a new deal, and it's unlikely the Bengals will pay him. They've already invested massive contracts into Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, deals totaling over $660 million. That's nearly 65% of their salary cap tied to 3 offensive players. A fourth mega deal, especially for a defensive end, seems off the table. That opens the door for a possible trade. But here's the key question. Should the Raiders pursue Hendrickson? The answer? Number. Unless the price drops dramatically, it doesn't make sense for Las Vegas. Reports suggest Hendrickson wants around $30 million per year. While he's a productive edge rusher, 17.5 sacks last season, there are valid concerns. Multiple NFL insiders and former players have criticized his effort against the run, calling him selfish, and focused mostly on chasing sacks. It's also been said he occasionally takes plays off if it's not a clear passing situation. If you're the Raiders, you need to think long-term. Would it be smarter to spend $30 million on Hendrickson, or use that money to lock in Colton Miller and Jacoby Myers with contract extensions? This team is still building. Every dollar matters. And while Hendrickson would improve the pass rush, the cost, both in draft capital and cap space, is too steep. He's a very good player, but his stats can be misleading. The Bengals' high-powered offense often put teams in pass-heavy catch-up mode, giving Hendrickson more chances to rush the quarterback. That helped inflate his numbers. In the end, the Raiders should stay out of it. If there is a team that makes a move for him, expect it to be a franchise closer to contention and more willing to spend. The Detroit Lions and Washington Commanders make the most sense. The Lions fell short in the NFC Championship and may want to pair Hendrickson with Aiden Hutchinson, though there are growing concerns about Hutchinson's health, especially with recent footage showing him rehabbing his leg. Detroit needs to go all in if they want to break through. As for the Commanders, they're in a division with the reigning Super Bowl champions and just drafted a quarterback in Jaden Daniels. Adding an elite pass rusher would help balance their roster and elevate their defense. Other possible landing spots? The Colts, Packers, and Cardinals, all teams with cap flexibility and edge needs. But Detroit and Washington are the most logical fits. As for Las Vegas, there's no need to force this move. Prioritize your core, preserve flexibility, and keep building smart.